Hi, I'm Elizabeth Tasker, and I'd like to share my experience with teaching astronomy in the Metaverse. This summer I taught a course on a virtual platform as part of the Metavisionaries Academy, which was founded by my three co-authors, Jim Green, Trudy Hugenboom and Wazim Abid. Metavisionaries Academy opened its virtual doors this summer, offering a range of courses connected to space and frontiers technology, such as astrophysics and astrobiology, satellite design, medicine in space, and space marketing. All the courses were online, so students could join from anywhere in the world. Most of the students in my class were undergraduates, but the courses were designed to be accessible from teens through to adults. The course I designed was called Water in the Universe, which ran for 5 one-hour lectures, and I taught the course 4 times during the summer. We looked at how water was distributed in the solar system today, how that might have changed in the past, and then took a look at extrasolar planet systems and speculated how they might host oceans that are very different from our own. The virtual platform we used was Engage VR. This is one of several different social spaces where people can join via a virtual reality headset, a desktop, or even a smartphone. Other similar spaces are Mozilla Hubs, Spatial, or VR Chat. These all allow people to join as an avatar in the same virtual 3D space and meet, regardless of where they're physically based. So I thought I'd take a look at some of my favourite aspects from the virtual space itself. This is the Metavisionaries Dome, where we typically started each class. And I'd like to emphasise that while I'm wearing a VR headset with hand controllers, which allow me to gesture and point, it's not needed in order to join this space. Most of the students connected via their desktops or smartphones. This meant that the technology barrier for joining the class was really low. You only needed a good internet connection. For the main structure of my class, I used a traditional presentation on a very large screen. As Engage supports PowerPoint via OneDrive, it was easy to show dynamic content, such as movies, embedded in the presentation. However, this wasn't my favourite way to show movies. This is the 360-degree movie theatre. 360-degree videos are surprisingly easy to find on YouTube on a whole range of topics and experiences. This one is a fly-through of the Orion Nebula, created by the Space Telescope Science Institute, and it really feels that you are embedded in the experience on a spaceship dropping down into the nebula. I found students watching the 360-degree movies often notice details in the movie, such as bubbles of the astrospheres around young stars, or a newly forming planet system. 3D models can also be brought into the space, enlarged and rotated, to explain different concepts. This was particularly good for awkward-shaped objects, such as spacecraft, because the students can walk around and even handle the models, getting a sense of scale and detail that would be impossible to achieve, even in a museum. It also provided a more hands-on component to the lecture, which offered variety compared to just slides on a screen. Of course, it's not just individual objects that can be brought into a virtual space. This is the surface of Mars, which is a field trip that isn't really possible to take in person yet. Different virtual locations offer a very different experience to a regular lecture hall and can help understand the challenges of missions such as NASA's Perseverance rover, or picture planets far more different than the Earth. Teaching in the metaverse offered many new options for sharing and discussing material, but there were also challenges. For example, while this is in development for the newer VR headsets,
avatars currently cannot mimic facial expressions. This does make it difficult to tell if your class are following your explanations, unless they decide to speak up. One solution I tried was using emojis like these ones. And I used these when I gave the class quizzes. I often found that having used the emojis once, spontaneous emoji use would then begin, with people offering a smiley face or a thumbs up if I made a joke or debated an issue. It also took time to switch locations and to import models. So I typically went through about 2/3 of the material that I would usually need. Finally, this is pretty new technology and things do break. For example, during the summer, Engage updated, and the 360-degree movies failed to play for a week until they found that fix. So I had to make sure that I had the 2D version ready to go in case we hit issues. The Metavisionary Academies also made sure that there was a technical assistant in each class. This was great, both for fixing any issues in the background while you teach, and for commiserating when something does not go quite as planned. Finally, I'll conclude by saying that interacting in the virtual space felt very natural. You can easily chat with one or more people, and it feels very much like an in-person interaction. So I felt like I'd really met my students. We're now in a world where barriers to travel are continuing to climb, but metaverse technology offers a way to really be with people and also share knowledge in a way that hasn't been possible before.